Hello, Gemini. This is your tarot reading for September 2015. The cards have been cleared with my crystal, and they've been pre-shuffled. I'm going to shuffle them again. It's been very busy, so I apologize for my video being late. I intend to have October's videos up in a couple weeks. Um, now that, um, you know, my teaching schedule is a little different. I do teach during the day. That's my day job. And usually my evenings are for tarot readings. I want to thank everyone who's contacted me for a reading. And you can contact me if you look in the description of my video. You can go to my Facebook page, you can go to my website, and you can contact me through email. That's usually the easiest. But if you want to get an idea of my services and prices, you can go to my website. But a lot of you have contacted me for readings, which is why I've been super busy, and found the readings very helpful. So I really appreciate your support, and I want to thank all the subscribers as well who've been subscribing to my channel. It's just been really, really amazing. So I hope to have October's up before the middle of the month, now that my schedule is a lot easier. In fact, in regards to manifestation, a job that I really wanted, that I actually made a dream board, meaning this is a board with all your hopes and dreams and what you want to have happen in your life. And I moved. I'm in Los Angeles, and I've been new here for like a year and a half. And so one of the things I wanted to manifest for myself as I moved to LA was a better job, a great job that would allow me to work part-time and devote more time to my psychic readings. And it just so happened that I've had that manifestation. It's actually a Word document with pictures of the things that I would like to have happen in my life, that I want to have happen, and actually I believe will happen. And so a few weeks ago I got an email from someone who had looked at my application, and she says, "You're a perfect fit for this job," and it's a really great job. I make a lot of money. Whoa! There were a lot of cards that came out here. You have the Hierophant, Ace of Pentacles, and then Eight of Pentacles as well. I'm going to put those back in. Maybe Eight of Pentacles will show up for you, Gemini. Alright. So I am so lucky because I got a fantastic job that I am able to just work part-time and make a great part-time income. I don't have to work full-time. And I can just devote more time to my esoteric studies, my remote viewing, because I did want to have a more creative and spiritual life out here in California. So that's my story. I'm going to be quiet now. I thank my spirit guides and your spirit guides for the wisdom and clarity they're going to provide through these cards. The first three cards are going to be the past. This is very interesting. We have King of Swords reversed. We have Ten of Swords upright. And then we have Ten of Cups. reverse. This has been a very, maybe August was a very tough month, or things have been very tough for you, Gemini. What's going on in present energies? We have Knight of Swords reversed. We have the Tower reversed. We have Six of Cups. Oh, so many reversals. That kind of worries me. And this is a major arcana card, which I'll explain. I explain this in all my videos, the major arcana cards and what they mean. Then we have Knight of Cups. This is the future. Then we have 10 of Pentacles. And then we have the Sun reversed. Wow. It seems like things are getting a little bit better here. But then the Sun is in reverse. Maybe there's not as much clarity. But Gemini, I want to point out a few things here. You have tens. This is really the most significant number. Then you have these kings and knights here, but you have 10 of cups, 10 of swords, 10 of pentacles. The only card that you don't have in this suit is 10 of wands. Now the number 10 is significant. An ace is significant as the beginning of a situation. The start of a new journey, or you're close, you're beginning something. When you get to the number 10, it means that the situation is close to ending or coming to an end, and you're going to begin the cycle all over again. So what I'm seeing here, now that the major arcana card, as I've explained before, major arcana cards like the Tower, the Empress, Death, the Devil, these are archetypal or symbolic cards that give me the framework of what your story or reading is all about here. And you only have one. If there were more, like 4 or 5 or 6 major arcana, that would tell me that you're in a situation that significant events that are more permanent and life-changing are happening. But you only have one. And so maybe this is just more of a temporary situation, more of an internal process, something that you kind of have control that's just affecting you, but it's not necessarily changing your whole life permanently. It just seems like there's more minor things going on, not major things. Also, swords, Gemini, you're an air sign, and swords represent air. And the King of Swords, Knight of Swords, King of Swords is someone who is a very wise man, who's very intellectual, and he makes sound decisions. Sometimes he can be very, very dangerous, I think, as far as the way he uses his words. He can be very manipulative, especially if this is in reverse. But, yeah, and this is in reverse. And the fact that you have 10 of Swords upright, this means that this is a very hopeless situation. Mentally, Gemini, you are in a very difficult situation where you've lost hope. Things are about as very negative. You're wondering, can things get any worse? And it could be this person, because whenever I see a court card like a knight or a king, we're looking at an actual person. It represents an actual person in your life. And there's someone who's being very negative and destructive to you. And the fact that this 10 of Cups is the card of emotional fulfillment and happiness. happy family. Usually this means a happy marriage, happy home, but it's upside down. There's a lot of turmoil from the past that is still carrying over into the present here. Because now we have the tower, and the tower was in reverse, I believe. And so when you have the tower as a major arcana card, it usually means things being destroyed and then starting over. Sometimes a catastrophe can happen and a huge change that's unexpected. And then you just start over again. And usually tower cards are not as negative as some people might think. Sometimes you need to start over. Sometimes it takes something to come into your life to get you to make a change that's needed. And I think that's the theme of your whole story here, that you need a change from this very negative situation I'm seeing here. But it's not happening because the tower card, when I first laid it out, was in reverse. Knight of Swords is reversed. So a king goes down to a knight. The king's energy is more thoughtful and slow, and the knight is a more quicker energy. The knight usually rushes into things without a lot of thought. The knight is a card. The knight is about action, taking action, and handling certain situations. There's no forethought. There's not a lot of internal or wisdom. Like a king would be more thoughtful. And the king doesn't necessarily take action. The king usually makes decisions and people carry out the action. But both of these cards are in reverse. So, one, we have a very vindictive person here. And maybe this energy of the vindictive person is getting worse because the knight is not as level-headed as the king. As I said, the knight is about taking a swift action. It represents swords, swords being the card of communication and thought, mental energy. The knight here is using communication and thoughts to where he's very upright. It means someone who is this could be someone who defends himself, especially in debates. He's very committed to expressing ideas and defending things, and especially air signs. We are very intellectual people who get our ideas across. So this knight, who usually defends his thoughts and ideas and sometimes makes hasty judgments, it is in reverse. It can definitely mean someone who's very manipulative. And from King of Swords to Knight, it can definitely mean that the situation might be getting a little worse because now you have someone who is getting a little bit out of control, who doesn't really care how his words hurt or how his interactions might hurt someone. And a change is needed here, but the tower is in reverse, meaning that this catastrophe or crisis hasn't come to a head yet. It hasn't happened. And now we have Six of Cups, and usually Six of Cups means ties to the past. It can definitely mean an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, but it's in reverse. So what's going on, it seems to be the energy of this king and this knight are getting in the way of change, but also it seems to be a cutting off of the past. Maybe there is a connection with someone, and a connection with an old relationship that's not happening because of what's going on with this knight that might have been a king, this could be the same person, this knight and king of swords, especially since the king could possibly be turning into the knight. The king is not necessarily being, the king is usually very reserved, especially with king of swords, but now the king isn't being reserved anymore. Um, this energy is becoming a knight, someone who's becoming more aggressive, mean-spirited, manipulative, selfish, narcissistic. And it's getting in the way of you connecting with someone from your past. Now, this, I believe, is a totally different person. Could be someone who is thinking about you. It could be that person that you've lost connection with in the past. And you'll notice that next to this person you have 10 of pentacles or 10 of coins upright. This is the card of prosperity, wealth, stability, and happiness. And it's quite possible that you could have that with this person in the future. Now the sun is in negative. It's reversed. But even when the sun is in reverse, it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It means that there's a possibility for a positive outcome, that there's still positivity. It's just that things need to turn around or a situation needs to change. But it could very well be that there's a possibility for happiness with this person that I think might be from your past. That, that there's a possibility to get away from this other negative situation that's caused you so much hurt and pain. I am going to pull an out. I'm going to shuffle for the outcome to see how the story is going to end here, Gemini. So give me just a few seconds. What is going to be the outcome of you dealing with this negative person who's causing you so much pain and this other person from possibly your past? Whoa. Okay. I got some cards that fell out. The first one is 8 of Cups. And it fell out with other cards. This could very well be your outcome, that you leave to find. This is a card about walking away from a situation, even though it could be beneficial for you. It's about walking away to get better perspective. But I'm going to put a second outcome card down because I want to get clarification on what needs to take place. But it could very well be, Gemini, that you do need to just break away from all relationships for now so that you can get some kind of clarity and perspective here. And this second outcome card just might confirm that. Whoa. What came out? Ah. The star, positive outcome for the future. I'll put this on the other side. Oh, I'll just put it down there. It'll turn out okay. This turmoil, maybe you shouldn't go back to the other relationship. Maybe you just need to take time to clear your head, get yourself spiritually grounded. But you are going to have a positive future. You will have that positive outcome in your relationship. It is coming. But the sun is indicating that there still needs to be work that needs to be done here. And so you should take that time to do that, because you're eventually, especially for this month of September, you're going to have more clarity and you're going to have hope. And this is really good because remember, in the past, you had this turmoil going on. Coming into September, you had all of this emotional turmoil going on. And so the star is actually the reverse, that you thought things couldn't get any worse, that things had become hopeless, but now you do have hope. Okay. But you do need to take this time. The cards are saying, your spirit guide is saying, you need to take a break here. And don't rush back into this relationship just yet. Just take a break here. Okay. So Gemini, that is your reading for September. I apologize for it being late, but I still hope that it brought you some insight and clarity. I want to thank my subscribers, and I want to thank everyone who's contacted me for a reading. And I look forward to giving more readings to you in the future. Blessed be, and I will see you in October.